Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to look at calculating compound interest while using absolute referencing. You may remember simple interest, which has a very simple formula. Compound interest is a little bit different. When we calculate interest each year, we actually add on that interest to get a new principal, a new amount for the second year. So interest is calculated on a different amount each year. So let's set up this spreadsheet and see how it goes. So we want to invest $5,000 at a rate of interest of 2% per annum, meaning per year. So for the first year, my opening balance is going to be equal to $5,000. So what I'm going to do is actually link to this cell here. So in D12, I'm going to type equal sign and click on F7. So notice in D12, I have equal sign F7. When I hit enter, the value 5,000 is going to be appearing in D12. So that if I decide I want to see what my investment would look like with $6,000, I just type 6,000, hit enter, and notice that the opening balance changes. But let's work with the $5,000. So change it back to $5,000. The interest amount for this first year is going to be 2% times $5,000. So equal sign, 2% multiplied by $5,000. We hit enter. So I have $100 in interest that I earned in the first year. My closing balance now is going to be the sum of the opening balance plus the interest amount. So that's equal sign D12 plus E12. So at the end of the first year of investment, I now have $5,100. At the start of the second year, I'm going to start off with the $5,100 rather than $5,000. So I'm going to link the cell again, equal sign 5,100. Equal sign F12. When I hit enter, 5,100 is going to appear. So that makes it a little bit easier if I want to change the original principal to, let's say, 6,000 again. When the calculations are done, the year 2 opening balance will also be updated because I used a link to the cell F12. So let's hit enter and see what happens. Great, everything was updated. So I'm going to change it back to $5,000 since that is what we really want to look at. Now, to calculate the interest for the second year, all I will have to do is copy this same formula here. So let's see what happens. I copy it down, but it's telling me there's 0 interest. So when I copy the formula for the closing balance, it's telling me at the end of the second year, I still have $5,100. So let's see what's wrong with the interest calculation for the second year. When I make this cell active, this formula here, I'm seeing that the formula is now multiplying F9 by D13. The D13 part is correct. The F9, however, is not correct. When I copied the formula down, this is my original formula, F8 times D12, and I copied it down, each of those cell references got updated. F8 turned to F9 and D12 turned to D13. Sometimes we want that to happen. At this point, we don't, however. We want the cell reference for the rate of interest to remain the same, so that we want it to remain as F8. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use absolute cell referencing to fix this problem. In the original calculation that I have, instead of just F8, I'm going to use the absolute referencing symbol, which is a $sign. In front of the F, I'm going to put $sign, and in front of the 8, I'm going to put $sign. In front, the column letter, and in front, the row number. So I'm going to hit enter. Now, when I copy my formula, so I'm going to actually copy both formulas at the same time. We can double check this formula and see now that the reference remained at cell F8. It did not move to cell F9. This is what we want. However, the D13 got updated, which is what we do want. So what I'm going to do now is copy this set of formulas for a couple years. So let's say I want to make this investment for 7 years. So I need to label from year 1 to year 7. An easy way to do this is by using the autofill. So I select the cell year 1 and I turn my cursor to the fill handle cursor, just as if you are copying a formula. You place the cursor over the small square at the bottom right hand corner of the cell. When you see it turn to this cursor like a small black cross, you click and then you just drag down. So notice on the little pop-up that the year numbers are actually changing because Excel recognizes that that last number can actually form a sequence. So without having to type anything besides the first label, I get all my labels in. Now I'm going to copy all of the formulas and we can double check any of them. So let's see, for year 4, I'm multiplying the opening balance by 2%. In order to get the closing balance, I add the opening balance and the interest amount. So this is looking great. Oh, just one more to check. So let's look at year 5 opening balance. When I make it active, I notice it's been linked to cell F15, which is where the closing balance was for the previous year. So using compound interest and using absolute cell referencing, I can see when I invest $5,000 at 2% interest, this is the total I end up with after 7 years. Now, because I've used the absolute cell referencing, as well as linking the cells, I can actually change my initial investment amount, the principal, as you were seeing before. So let's say I want to change it to $10,000. Everything is updated. What if I want to change my rate of interest? Instead of 2%, let's make it 5%. So 0.05, that's 5% interest. And all of my calculations will be updated. And to end this video, here is a little bit of suggested formatting. Remember, it's always a good idea to format your spreadsheet.